Hello, I'm going to go through the exam that I posted today, the exam number 9, the mock, and I just go through the answers and I'll do some additional stuff as I go through. So the first question, which of the following is made up of connective lymphoid tissue? Well, I think that was an easy one because it's not going to be stomach and it ain't going to be kidneys or bladder. It could only be the spleen. That's part of the lymphatic system anyway, so that's fine. What is the function of bone tissue? The next one. Well, it's to support and protect the body and all the organs. But that's another nice easy one. Number 3, the smallest particle of an element which can exist as a stable entity, it could only be an atom. So that's another nice one. There are 3 that come up quite a bit actually. Which of the following tissues is protective and has insulatory properties? So we've got epithelial, well that's tissue and that's not insulatory. We've got white fibrous, no, wouldn't be that, would it? Areola and adipose are the 2 it could be, and adipose, I'm gonna have to double check this because I thought it was adipose. Areola is like the packing that goes round. I'm going to double check that one. You probably know it, and I'm guessing. I always double check, and I use the book, which I've got here somewhere, to double check. Which of the following tissues is protective? Oh no, what is mitosis? Oh, that's a nice one. Multiplication of cells. Which of the following is found in, hi Sam, which of the following is found in the hair? So that's, it's found in hair and nails, and it's keratin. So that's nice, another easy one. What is the lanula? That's another nail one. Well, that's the white area at the proximal end of the nail plate. So it's the, what we call the moons, isn't it? Lanula. So that's the distal end at the most distant, and that's the one that's most nearest to you. What is the mantle? That's another nail one, and that's a deep fold of skin over the matrix. The matrix is an interesting part of the nail because if that damages, if you sort of hit that with a hammer or something and damage that, then you'll never get a decent nail come up because that's where the nail is made, in that nail in the matrix. How can vitiligo be recognized? That's a skin condition, and that's white patches of skin. So it's not white all over, but it's patches of skin. Number 10 was, what type of skin disease is folliculitis? And that is one that men often get through shaving. You think of hair follicles, and it would be a bacterial infection. Which one of the following is an irregular bone? That could only be the maxilla, because the others are quite sort of normal shape, aren't they? Your metacarpals are the long bones here. What else have you got? You've got your ribs and your humerus. Well, that's your humerus, so there's nothing irregular about that. Sometimes you have to go to what it can't be until you get to what it can be, if you're not completely sure. Where would you find an example of a fixed joint? Well, that's the innominate bones. That's something you just have to learn. The common name for the zygomatic bone, that's the cheekbone. here. Where would you find the navicular bone? Well, you find that in your foot. Where would you find an example of a gliding joint? That would be between the tarsals, which is in your foot, or in the carpals, because they're gliding. Which of the following is a definition of plantar flexion? Well, that's with the toes pointing towards the ground, like you're belly dancing. But if it's going up, that's your foot, that would be dorsal. So if they mention plantar in any of the questions or dorsal, that's always the foot. So that's a good clue. Which of the following muscles crosses the ankle? That could only be the flexor digitorum longus, because the others, we've got the flexor carpi, and if carpi ever comes up, it's always to do with the arm. Carpi, arm, brachii, anything brachii, arm, carpi, arm. So you can always discount those. Teres major, you probably know that's in your back. And the pronator teres, which isn't one that we get too often, that's in your arm. So muscle crossing the ankle. And the sports students could easily get that one. Which of the following muscles cross the wrist? Again, the carpi comes up in the question. Nice, easy one. What does prolonged contraction of a muscle cause? Well, there's no secret there. It causes muscle fatigue. So have a good guess with that one. Pectoralis, your pecs, that's on your chest. How many pairs of spinal nerves are there? That's just something that you need to learn. It's 31. Hi, Donna. How many pairs of cervical nerves are there? 8. They love this. How many nerves you put here and how many nerves there. So we just have to learn those. Which of the following hormones is released when the sympathetic nervous system and those works? So the sympathetic nervous system, that's the one that picks you up. The parasympathetic one is the one that's like that calms you down, and it's like a parachute coming slowly down. So the sympathetic one is the one that really G's you up, and that would be the noradrenaline. So if you can remember that the parasympathetic calms you down and the sympathetic one G's you up, then you see adrenaline. That's it, isn't it? Hiya. Which part of the brain helps to regulate body temperature? And that is the hypothalamus. The cerebellum is the part of the brain that helps with the balance. And if you think of a bell, there we are, the bell, and you think of somebody that loses their balance, then that might give you might help you to remember that. And the cerebrum, if somebody's very cerebral, they're very clever. So we're talking about body temperature here, and it's the hypothalamus. How is lymph finally drained back into the circulation? That's 39. And it's through the lymphatic ducts. So you haven't even got to know which duct, just lymphatic ducts. So they just go through here, back into the circulation. An integral function, I've gone on to 39, never mind. We'll do 40. An integral function of lymph fluid is to transport which of the following substances back to the bloodstream? Well, it can't be oxygen. Osteoblasts, that's what builds up your bones. Erythrocytes, that's what causes oxygen to go around your body. So you can work it out that it could only be plasma proteins. So 41, where would you find the posterior auricular lymph nodes? Well, posterior must be back. You know where your posterior is, it's behind. Auricular, that's always to do with your ear. So behind your ear, there's the answer, back of the ear. Where would you find the popliteal? Popliteal this, popliteal that, it's always behind your knee. So 43, the lymph from the right shoulder directly drains into the right lymphatic duct. So the right side, and this is my right side, you might be looking, but that all this, it drains into the right duct, and the other one, all the rest of your body goes into the rest of your lymphatic duct over here. Where's the epiglottis? It's in the pharynx. Yeah. And the epiglottis is a little flap that's in your body. It's amazing where the food goes down. Obviously, that goes down your esophagus, but your trachea for the air, it starts off down your throat. The same. It's all going in the same way, isn't it? But the epiglottis makes sure there's a little flap to make sure the food goes down one hole and the air goes down the other. It's amazing. Which enzyme acts to digest carbohydrates? This is 46. It's amylase. It's one that you just have to learn, really. What is the name of the enzyme produced in the kidneys which helps to regulate blood pressure? That's 47. Hi, Mike. And that is renin. That comes up a few times, actually, that one. Kidneys, renin. Which of the following statements is correct? And it's about the urethra. The urethra is shorter in females than in males, and that's why women are more prone to cystitis, because they haven't got so long to go before it hits the outside, and that's where the bacteria can enter. Which of the following instructions forms part of the female reproductive system? That's a nice easy one, because you've got all the men's bits here to choose from, and the vulva is the only one of the women, so that's good. What is dysmenorrhea? And that is painful periods. And I remember what is absence of periods, or the cessation of menstruation, is amenorrhea. And I think that when women get to a certain age and their periods stop, they think, oh, amen to that. So that's how I remember amenorrhea. So dysmenorrhea is painful periods. I turned the page over to the wrong one, so I'm going back to 25. How many pairs of sacral nerves are there? Well, there's 5. That's just something to learn. The endocrine system, 26. The endocrine system works closely with the nervous system to ensure, and it's homeostasis. You've heard of homeostasis, the body balancing. Well, that's what it is. It's the nervous and the endocrine system are continually trying to keep our body balanced. How are hormones transported? In the circulatory system. They jump into the blood, and that's how it goes through. What do endocrine glands secrete? Hormones. Which hormones, together with estrogen, is responsible for female sexual characteristics? I think you'd all get that one. Progesterone. Which part of the brain controls the endocrine system? That's the hypothalamus. What is bronchitis? Itis on a question is always inflammation of. So bronchitis, inflammation of the bronchi. What is the function of the pharynx? And that is part of your throat, and it's to act as an air passageway to warm and moisten the air. Which part of the nervous system stops inspiration, therefore causing expiration? The pons varioly. Pons as in bridge. Which chamber of the heart receives deoxygenated blood first? So I did this on the little video. There's the chambers of the heart. Well, the blood always goes into the top, wherever it's coming from, whether it's coming from the body or from the lungs, it always goes into the top. So it's always going to be in one of the atriums, and it's on the right side. It's on this side, so it's on the right atrium. Which of the following blood vessels transports oxygenated blood away from the heart? And that's, so it enters the heart into the atrium at the top, and then it has to, that's from the body, that's from the vena cava at the top here, and then it has to go to the lungs because it needs oxygen. So it goes to the lungs, and to go away from the heart is always an artery. Whatever, it's always going to be an artery. So the pulmonary artery goes away from the heart, and it's a pulmonary vein that brings it back again into here, into the top. So I hope that helps you to remember that. Which artery supplies the head and the neck? That's the common carotid artery. The jugular is a vein, so it's the common carotid that feeds up into your head. What is hypertension? High is high blood pressure, and the function of a venule here. The venule are like tiny veins, and so as the blood goes into a tissue and it comes out, it's fed the muscle, then it can't go straight into a vein. It needs to go into a venule first, into the capillary and the venule, and then into the vein, and then up into the vena cava. So it's to carry deoxygenated blood from the tissues to the veins. So that's just a quick run through on those. I hope it's helped. And I'm going to double check on that one, the one that I wasn't too sure about. But good luck with your exams, and I'll do some other things like this in the future to go over. So I'll see you all soon. Good luck.